Hey, Derek here. I'm in South Africa, here for a friend's wedding, but you know me, I couldn't help myself. I want to explore and really understand what innovation in the public sector looks like here in South Africa. To help me out, I got ChatGPT to do some deep research and give me some background on what's been happening in South Africa. And along with my own research and conversations with others here, here's sort of a high level of what I found out. So first off, South Africa's public sector didn't just evolve. It had to be reinvented after apartheid. Before 1994, government was designed to serve mainly the white minority. So it was very fragmented, deeply unequal, and built around control and not care. So when democracy came in the early 90s, this new government had to merge in all these different administrations and really shift the ethos and the philosophy of what the public sector was all about. One of the key things that really became the heart of this was a white paper that is called Batho Pele, which means people first. And it sets out 8 principles for good service that was really meant to be the new ethos of the South African government. All right, so here are the 8 Batho Pele principles. Number 1, consultation. This is all about getting the public service to get out there and consult with users to understand what their priorities are and make sure that services are in line with what people need. Number 2, service standards. Government institutions must publish clear standards of service, such as waiting times and turnaround periods, so that citizens know what to expect, and so there's some level of accountability. Access. This is obviously a big one. Now that, this government is for all South Africans, access to all services became really important, including very remote areas. Courtesy. Citizens should be treated with politeness, consideration, and professionalism. Public servants are expected to be approachable, empathetic, and responsible. Information. Government must provide information that's easy to understand about what services exist, how to access them, and what procedures and costs are. Number 6, openness and transparency. Institutions must operate in ways that is open to the public scrutiny. This includes providing access to documents, decision-making processes, and performance information. 7, redress. This is an interesting one, I thought. This means that there needs to be clear ways in which citizens can channel complaints and really feedback issues they have with services, and that these things are taken into account and corrected quickly. And finally, value for money. Services should be delivered in an economical and efficient way, ensuring the best possible use of taxpayer dollars. I love this list. I think every government should have a list like this. When I went through this, I'm like, this could apply to the UK, could apply to Canada, could apply to any country. So within South Africa, there are 3 spheres of government. There's the national government. This is what we mostly think about, the government of South Africa. And it's responsible for setting the country's overall policy direction, passing legislation, and managing sort of the big issues such as defense, foreign affairs, and the national budgets. It consists of a parliament, the president, and cabinet ministers, and about 40 national departments. It also is key in setting a framework for how services are delivered to areas like education, health, and policing, which are implemented at the provincial level. Standards set at the national level, implementation at the provincial level. Speaking of the provincial level, South Africa has 9 provinces, each with its own legislation and executive led by a premier, very much mimicking the national level. Provinces are primarily responsible for implementing services like education, healthcare, agriculture, social development, and transportation, but based on direction from the national government, national frameworks. So really it's about frontline delivery for local needs. And finally, there's local government, spread across 257 municipalities. Municipalities, like in any country, are closest to the people and are responsible for basic services and infrastructure, such as water, electricity, waste removal, local roads, and spatial planning. They also lead a lot of the community development efforts and are key to public participation. Their ability to deliver depends heavily on local capacity and revenue, and there seems to be a lot of disparity between different municipalities compared to other countries I've visited. South Africa has many blockers that have really stood in the way of meeting this vision of Batho Pele that they try to bake into everything they do. And a lot of these blockers are really well known. Corruption obviously is a big one, especially during a period that's called sort of the state capture area, which is sort of the mid-2000s. When powerful actors redirected public institutions and contracts to private gain. But corruption continues to be a problem within South Africa. Capacity gaps. There continues to be a major gap in terms of skills within the public service. This is common across many governments, but it's particularly pronounced in places like South Africa. There's audit issues. So we talked about accountability. One of the principles of Batho Pele is this idea of service standards. But the problem about that is, even though they have this accountability around service standards, many places aren't meeting it. Many of them are failing the audits to this day, which of course then really undermines people's trust in government. And then, of course, there's a lot of issues of coordination between all these different levels of government that's just not happening. South Africa, like many governments around the world, really struggles with silos, both within governments, but also between these different levels of government. And then, of course, there's digital inequality. So South Africa's done an incredible job at moving a lot of their services into digital forums, which is fantastic. But people's access to these digital forums is really unequal, particularly in a lot of the rural areas. So the ingredients for innovation are here, but the system still makes it hard to get good ideas and really help them take root and spread. More than anything else, I've been really fortunate in my time here to meet with all sorts of different public servants who are passionately working on different issues, from youth unemployment, which is incredibly at 60%, which is madness. But the people who are working on it are so passionate about trying to make a difference. And this is in many ways the story, I think, of public servants everywhere, is that people who are public servants, they do this because they believe and they care in the role of service to the public. They want to make a difference. They want to be making their communities better. And they put in incredible energy, creativity in really challenging situations to help make it happen. And for me, South Africa is one of the great examples of this. It's incredible to see what public servants are doing here in the context and situations they often find themselves, and the joy at which they do it with. And they're so excited to talk to me about what they're doing and share what they're doing, and sort of brainstorm with me on ways that it could be done better. So I think, yeah, I mean, in some ways, I would just say everybody should come to South Africa and learn from what's happening here. I'm really hoping we can seed some, maybe like a Creative Bureaucracy Festival or South Africa or something that brings these really great ideas to life. And I'm hoping to do more videos in the coming weeks and months highlighting some of the great work that's happening here in South Africa. So stay tuned for that.